Hi, friends, and thanks for tuning in to your Friday One show with Alex Jones.
And Chris Evans. Why are you being weird? And on tonight's menu for your first course, we feed the king of Foodie Friday, Jay Rayner, fast food.
Because Alex isn't your real name, I only found out today. That's why I'm being weird. For the main... Is it true?
My name's Charlotte.
Hello, Charlotte. Good evening. My name's Carlton.
No, you're not. You're Christopher Martin, aren't you?
No, my dad was Martin Joseph. Anyway, for the main, Giles Brandreth looks at the history of saucy telly.
And for dessert, Freddie Mercury's ballet shoes. Here they are.
There they are.
Lovely.
Now, it's an extraordinary mix of a show tonight to celebrate an extraordinary special guest. Sometimes, right, he looks like this, sometimes he looks like this, sometimes he looks like this, and sometimes he looks like this, but he always looks great.
Yeah, but what will he look like tonight? It's Noel Fielding.
All those looks.
Look at those boots. Can you lift them?
So,
Now, do you work on your looks, you know?
I have to. I mean, that one with the leaves, I'm not sure that was a good look.
That's kind of like a cabbage, nearly, isn't it?
I know, exactly. It's
In
like
a good way,
like
Noel.
a salad, a walking
Like,
salad with hair.
Are they show busy looks, or do you do that anyway?
They were all from the show, actually, but we worked really hard on the look, and then sometimes when you get on camera, you go, oh, that's not worked, but it's too late.
I think you can get away with it.
Really?
Yeah, I think you look fantastic. You look great tonight. Now, this one over here, this one who's got a new show, Let's Dance, that gets like 60 million viewers apparently on a Saturday night, has roped you into her programme. How did she do that?
Well, it was actually Richard Curtis sent me a really long email, and because he's such a good writer.
He told us that he did it himself.
It was like a 3-page email, and it was so moving and so like amazing about the charity and everything that I just was like, I'll do anything. And then about a week later, I just thought, what am I doing?
No,
I can't dance.
You won't regret this decision.
Really?
Honestly.
Oh, because she's got 60 million viewers to her new programme.
60.
I saw you actually.
Slight exaggeration, only slight.
Now, you've been rehearsing all day. We're going to talk about it later.
Yeah, I'm making a little bit.
Now then, it's time for this week's Foodie Friday, and one of the country's most well-respected food critics, Jay Rayner, usually gets to sample the finest foods available to humanity.
Yeah, so we thought, enough of that, it's kebab time.
I've championed a lot of food for the One Show, the forgotten foods, the ugly foods, the foods that make you want to go, ugh. Well, today it's time for me to champion the doner kebab. I think I've got my work cut out on this one.
This is what most of us recognise as a doner, sauce-drenched, reconstituted meat wrapped in bread with a salad. One of the great guilty pleasures of the British public.
Kebab shops and vans are everywhere on Britain's high street, so despite the sneering from food snobs and health food freaks, there's no doubt the British public love them, especially once the pubs are out. But with this bad reputation, is it possible there's a respectable side to the good old doner kebab?
Well, for a start, it does at least have truly foreign credentials. Unlike that other 3 a.m. favourite, chicken tikka masala, the doner kebab was not created especially for British tastes. It has genuine Turkish roots. Its story starts in Bursa, the mid-19th century Ottoman Empire's capital, now part of modern-day Turkey. Doner simply means spinning, and it's here that a local family first spun the lamb vertically to roast it, serving it up with bread and sauces like butter and yogurt.
I'm determined to find the real thing, so I've come here to start my search in the heart of North London's Turkish community.
Here in Stoke Newington, Mustafa's family have been making doners since 1982. It has to be said that the typical British kebab shop spindle of moulded minced lamb doesn't always use the highest quality meat, but this couldn't be further from the true Turkish version.
It's fair to say the doner kebab has a bit of a bad reputation. Do you think that's fair?
There are some kebab shops out there which are not very nice. They make doner kebabs from the left meat. They put everything in their junk meat as well. If they put too much, say, garlic sauce, too much of chili sauce, that means they want to cover up the kebab. We use lamb meat, bit of salt, cumin and black pepper. But we use purely lamb meat.
The lamb comes from North Wales, and the quality does show.
Ooh. I'm a huge fan of grilled meats of any kind, but this This is very good indeed.
It's certainly a high-quality version of the doner we know, but my quest to find the Turkish meal that inspired it is not yet complete. Over the past 40 years or so, the mighty doner kebab has spread across Europe, and on its travels, it was tailored for the European market, becoming less and less like the original Turkish dish. Mustafa gave me a tip that this traditional Turkish restaurant serves the original doners of their homeland. So finally, I'm coming face to face with the real deal.
Thank you. Well, you don't have to be a food expert to spot the difference. This is an entirely different dish. It's still lamb shoulder, but instead of being minced and processed into one of those conical things, it's slabs of lamb which have been put on the central skewer and then grilled. And the bread, no longer a container, it's the plate, it's underneath here. But how does it taste? It's a totally different beast, and to be honest, from my experiences of eating in Turkey, where I've visited quite often, it's much more like the sort of thing you'd get there. Because it's the whole meat rather than the mince meat, you get a variety of flavours.
And the yoghurt is a fresher, more lively accompaniment than some of the garlic or hot sauces we're used to.
If you ever wondered if doner kebab could be classy, it can, and this is it.
Is there any food you don't like, Jay?
No, it comes with the job description. One show food critic, like food. Sea cucumbers, don't do those. Don't like baked beans, but that's just a weird childhood thing.
That's a different story.
Yeah, it is.
Are you a kebab convert, would you say?
Oh, come on, I've been eating kebabs all my life.
No way.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yes.
Can't
yes.
believe that.
I was a student, I was drunk, I ate kebabs.
All right.
In Leeds.
Oh, well,
Many
thank
of
heaven for
them.
that expensive education.
I know. Very important.
So listen, but Turkey is like, you know, the origins of food, the mother and father food with China and India.
Yeah, it's a serious culinary tradition. It's held up as one of the greatest. You've got to be a bit careful at that end of the Mediterranean because they're all a bit kind of turf hungry and they all claim responsibility for various dishes. But if you look here, we have various dishes. Gatchik here. In Greece, you'll know it as tzatziki, though. Have a bit of bread. They do their bread big in Turkey.
There you go.
Massive.
It's a lot smoother than tzatziki. It's yogurt, it's cucumber, it's mint. Oh, you're classy, aren't you?
That's nice. Do you like doner kebabs now?
I slept on a doner kebab once.
You slept on one?
Yeah, it was more comfy. I was drunk and it was more comfy than my pillow, but I didn't
Fair.
realise.
Wow.
I sort of passed out and in the night I swapped my pillow with the kebab.
Genius.
Woke up
How did you smell the next day?
Good. My hair. Boy, some drunk people tried to eat my hair.
Well, they would, because, you know, that's an aid to the digestion. This one's... it's an aubergine puree. There's lots of different names for this all over the place, but patlıcan salatsi is what you'd call it in Turkey. It's a smoky aubergine puree. You might know it as baba ganoush. You might know it as imam bialdi. It's very good.
Okay, I can't eat these products because I've still got my braces in. Shall I take them out?
Pull them out.
All of a sudden, I've just actually been put off eating, and that's the first time since 1974 that that's happened.
Right, big food news, Joe.
Massive food news.
Right.
The Cornish pasty has been given protection by Europe. Protected geographical indication. It means you can only call it a Cornish pasty if it's been made in Cornwall.
Is that a fact now?
It is a fact.
Is that legal?
It's legal. It's absolutely... If you tried to make a Cornish pasty outside Cornwall, you could be taken to court for it.
Could you be executed?
You could obviously be killed.
Right.
Many times over.
But
You
the
have to
question is,
walk the
how
plank.
do you... Well, possibly.
Just pirate food, isn't it, essentially?
Well, miners, we thought, but possibly pirates as well.
Yes.
What's a new angle?
Let's just keep the pirate image going.
But how do you make a Cornish pasty?
No, I could explain it too, but we have something far better for you.
Okay.
Nationwide, 1971. Have a look at the beard on this.
All right.
If you really want to know what's inside of a pasty, come in the kitchen. Pastry, sirloin, chipped
Sliced
potatoes,
potatoes
sliced
there?
potatoes, yes. Salt, onion,
Plenty
pepper,
of pepper.
sealing wax.
Sealing wax.
That's it.
Most people might call it milk.
That's right. And here we go for the crinkling bit.
And this is this magic double finger shuffle.
That's it.
What's the point of this?
Well, to seal a pasty.
seal it.
What do you mean, what's the point of it? What's wrong with the guy? Otherwise it'll all fall out, wouldn't it?
I've got serious beard envy.
Yeah.
And he's got just...
Well,
And he's got a parrot.
And he's got a parrot.
And he looks a bit like a pirate. You're absolutely right. You were ahead of the game there.
That's David Bell.
He was very much the Jay Rayner of his day.
Well, I don't think... I wouldn't even begin to compare myself with that beard and that parrot.
OK, controversy, though. The Devonians, they are revolting.
Yeah, the Devonians are always revolting. The Devonians are always furious when the Cornish get things like this, probably because the Devonians haven't yet managed to get any protected marks on their foodstuffs, whereas the Cornish already have clotted cream.
Yeah, of course.
And now they've got this. The Devonians have tried to get the cream tea recognised, but because there are so many parts...
Haven't they got ice cream, though, Jay?
No.
No, it's not their own. Like I say, current score, Cornwall 2, Devon 0.
Well, they've got half of one with West Country cheddar, but, you know, let's not get into that.
Thanks so much, Jay, for now. And by the way, there's a bonus kebab treat coming up on this very same One Show with a twist later. But now...
All this week, we've been enjoying Giles Brandreth's jaunts through the world of taste and decency. Tonight, he's turned his attentions to the television, much like you at home.
And for years, there was only one name that sprung to mind when people talked about standards on telly: Mary Whitehouse.
When it comes to taste and decency, no one struck more terror into the hearts of broadcasters than this lady, Mrs. Mary Whitehouse. In the 1960s, she was the bespectacled crusader who championed the cause of cleaning up British TV.
Freedom dies when moral anarchy takes over.
What was she? An interfering busybody or a far-sighted pioneer? And where better to gauge opinion than the town that has become synonymous with angry letters of complaint, Tunbridge Wells.
She stood for a lot of values which the BBC seemed to have lost, so I was all for her.
So what did you make of Mary Whitehouse?
She was a buffoon.
A buffoon?
A buffoon. I thought she was right on the ball at the time.
Did you agree with her?
Good God, no.
In the 1960s, the BBC started to show controversial, gritty social dramas. Up the Junction dealt with single mothers and abortion.
The worst part was telling me mum. She didn't expect it of me because I was such a prude at the plays on the telly.
But Mary Whitehouse was shocked by what she saw and instigated the Clean Up TV campaign. She maintained that the BBC spread the propaganda of disbelief, doubt, dirt, promiscuity, infidelity and drinking. Mary Whitehouse started the Viewers and Listeners Association in 1965. Its membership grew to 150,000, and in the early 70s, John Bayer became her right-hand man.
There's very powerful influence which comes into our living rooms, which is largely unaccountable. She felt that there must be some kind of counter-argument against this.
Last Thursday evening, we sat as a family and we saw a programme that started at 6:35, and it was the dirtiest programme that I have seen for a very long time.
One target for her criticism was the hugely successful Till Death Us Do Part, starring Warren Mitchell as Alf Garnett.
That's enough of that! All that swearing, I won't have it!
What did she object to?
The number of swear words. I think she counted them. And in the end, I think the BBC tried to ration me. I think I was allowed about 14 bloodies and 2 bleatons. Her view was ludicrous. On the other hand, every time she complained, we got another 500,000 viewers, so we were very pleased with her.
In 1972, one episode in particular got them into trouble.
What they do up there is like, it's more immaculate, isn't it?
Unless they're on the pill or something. There was an episode that talked about contraception, and Mrs. Whitehouse felt this really went too far and succeeded in getting an apology out of the BBC.
Well, shame on the BBC is all I can say. I bet more people learnt lessons from Alf and his family debating sex before marriage than they would have done from any pamphlet from the National Health Service.
The people who made Till Death Us Do Part might say that actually the show reflected the real world.
It may have been the real world in some parts of, I don't know, the East End, which was where it's supposed to be set, but that's certainly not the whole of reality. I think that what was happening in those days is that people in control of broadcasting really wanted to offend the middle classes.